Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We like 5.56 AKs around here for one very important reason. We like AK so much that we don't care what caliber is shoved into it so long as we can affordably shoot these things. Most people are into AKs because at one time it was a really cool, cheap option. At one time the guns were really cheap and the ammo was even cheaper. During COVID, the guns definitely got more expensive, but the ammo stayed cheap, so the AK has exploded in popularity. Now, as of 2024, the end of 2024 when I'm filming this video, you might be seeing this in the new year. Everything's expensive now. The AKs are expensive, the ammo's expensive, but 5.56 AKs are growing in popularity because of the round kind of coming down. You know, PMC bronze is fairly affordable, nice brass case ammo. I've been buying it by the case, and it hasn't been hurting the budget all that much. I've had to slow down on the 7.62. 5.45 shooting is completely non-existent at this point, and I think I'm speaking for everyone there. Unless something changes, it's kind of a dead round going into 2025. So what a lot of boutique manufacturers are doing, they're specializing in 5.56 AKs only, because it's really the one thing that's outselling all the other calibers right now. M13 Industries sent this gun to me. They're not giving it to me. They wanted me to film it, shoot it, you know, take it to a competition, really put a lot of ammo through it, and tell them what did I like, what did I not like, what can they do better, what did they do too much of, whatever. It's just an honest review. So, yeah, man. It's a 5.56 AK that's really intended to do just a little bit of everything, but really excel in a competitive setting. Shooting AKs in competitions is one of the funnest ways to enjoy them nowadays. Because you're shooting less ammo in a really cool, fun setting where you're kind of getting the most out of that ammo. Instead of mag dumping into trash, we really can't afford that these days, even with 223. M13 calls this the 514S, and the intention of this thing is to really do a little bit of everything well. Aesthetically pleasing, it's ready for a suppressor, multiple ways to mount an optic, the stock folds. Every AK should have a folding stock, it really just should. I like my wood stocks, but folding stocks make so much sense on an AK because of the recoil system. Unlike an AR, nothing happens back here, you might as well have a folding stock. Very nice trigger, the gas has been tuned, there's a lot going on here. So although it might not look at first glance like a pretty fully loaded AK, it's got a lot going on. So let's go ahead and go tip to butt and show you every little thing that he's done with this. And then we'll talk about the price, because it is expensive. And if you've been watching this channel at all for the past few years, you know that M13's built several guns for me. I've paid him to do all kinds of gunsmithing work. So I can honestly say his work has years behind it. It's really good work. I've never had a project that he's done for me that I was upset with. He's built Rachel's guns. He's built Tony, my business partner, a lot of his guns, and a lot of our very high-end post-sample, fully semi-automatic guns that you'll probably never see on this channel. That's a little background on John. And by the way, if you want to see an interview with M13 Industries, I'll put that link down below. We actually got to visit the shop, and it's really cool seeing how the sausage is made. Because I wasn't fully prepared for the video, I don't actually know what receiver he used, so I'm gonna text John after this and I'll put that right here. That's the receiver that was used. It's interesting because the receiver is marked 545. It's been crossed out and now it says 556 by 45. Again, Polish part, so right off the bat you're gonna notice a smooth dust cover, those WBP thick smooth dust covers, very reminiscent to Russian Saigas. It has a Roscoe barrel that has been cut down to 14.5, and it has a JMac RRD2C Chemo pinned on to give you a legal 16. So you have a little bit of braking and compensation going on up here to help with recoil, and of course you can lock a suppressor on. Probably the most popular part that JMac sells coming from them is the GBC 13 combo block. If you don't know, JMac basically cloned the East German K combo block. Very desirable AKs. Those kits are very hard to come by, and the gas blocks on those things are really cool. So JMac actually borrowed one of these from Larry Vickers back in the day, cloned it, and now we have full access to basically East German gas blocks. And what's really cool is it can still retain a cleaning rod. One thing I did tell John, I think it would be cool to add the cleaning rod. They have to be trimmed to fit this barrel length, but I think they look a little bit more complete when they're included. And here you can see you have an Ultimac. These things have been around for years and years. You can find old footage of Jim Fuller bolting these things on RD guns back in the 20-teens. They've been around a long time. They hold zero. People trust these things. They look pretty good. They do get really hot, but it is just another way to mount an optic. Clearly, we don't have an optic on it now, but a lot of the footage that you're gonna see in this video, we have a red dot mounted to this rail, and we did just fine with it. We even shot the match with a micro dot on the rail. Was not a problem. Back in the day, I used to run dots on Ultimax for a long time because RD was doing it. Still works to this day, but I prefer using the side rail, which this gun has. So you actually have two ways to mount dots on this thing. You will get the M13 logo engraved on it, which looks pretty cool. Now, dongs are very popular to put on AKs these days. You get a forward grip, you keep a little bit of wood mixed with the steel. Aesthetically, it's very pleasing and, of course, very functional. If you've ever shot with one of these things, even though they might look ugly to some, they work really, really well. And with straight mags, they don't really get in the way. With 7.62 by 3.9 mags, sometimes they can get in the way, but with these straighter mags for like 74s, it's not a problem at all. They don't get in the way. It's honestly a pretty good benefit to have, and it does look super sick. John at M13 makes these enhanced charging handles. I've been rocking one of these things on my 5.56 AK for years. Like 7-8 years at this point, and it's never flown off. Some people just can't quite make these right where they stay on. John's about the only one that makes one with a single set screw that stays on. I say that because I've had one for a long time. They work really, really good. Krebs, enhanced safety with a bolt hold open. ALG trigger that has been finely tuned. Very, very nice trigger. Ooh, yeah. Beautiful trigger. Safety's very well tuned, very soft, smooth. That mag release is made by Krebs Custom. Not a lot of people know about this. It's actually a bit longer, a bit wider than a factory mag paddle, and I gotta tell you, is super buttery smooth getting these mags in and out. Not a lot of people talk about those things, but if you check out Krebs on his website or a lot of his Instagram photos, he's putting these things on KP9s and all kinds of AKs. This is the first time I've actually played with one, and I gotta say, it's becoming my most favorite mag release. It's just really damn good. Probably the best AK grip ever made. The US Palm / Tango Down grip is a must-have. This is a big one here. The 100 series triangle folder. Man, these things are so valuable on like Bulgarian and Russian guns, and the fact that it's coming with it is pretty nice. These things lock up and fold super freaking smooth. They're rock solid. They don't rattle. These are some of the best folding stocks ever put on a gun, ever. And you're getting one on this gun. Any folding stock out there, I don't care what it is, nothing compares to 100 series side folders with the triangle folder. They are simply the best folding stock ever put on an AK. This particular gun, I've already shot about 1,000 rounds through. I've already taken it to a match. I've done reload drills. We've zeroed it. We've taken it out to 100 yards. We've done quite a bit with it already. Number one thing with any AK, it has to be reliable. 100% bulletproof reliability with a variety of ammo and magazines. We've shot steel case and PMC bronze, which is kind of what everyone's buying now to shoot through AKs, and it shoots them both very nice. Steel case. Some super cheap 55 grain Tula hollow point. It shoots so dang good with steel case. Wow. God, I wish steel was still available. That's freaking soft. Wow. Damn, that shoots so good with steel. The other big thing with 5.56 AKs is the magazines. A big problem with 5.56 AKs is all the countries that made them didn't standardize on a pattern of mag. If it's Bulgarian, if it's Polish, if it's Serbian, if it's Romanian, they all used different magazines. Not the case with 7.62 and 5.45. That's the case with 5.56. So I'm happy to say this gun in particular, using Polish parts, they seem to allow the most types of mags. Every mag's worked. We've tried Circle 10, commercial Bulgarian, which usually don't work in anything, and they really like this gun. WBP, FB, AC Unity, all that rhymes, and even the PSA 5.56 AK-101 mags that are pretty cheap are actually pretty damn good mags, all of which have been flawless in this gun. So what's nice about that is it really doesn't matter what you buy. All the commercial 5.56 AK mag options will work in this thing. The only one that will not are the Yugo pattern 5.56 AK mags, the M90, M85 Rock and Lock mags. That's the only gun those mags work with pretty much, so that's just how it goes with Yugo stuff. feels like I'm past the break-in period. Like with a factory gun out of the box, man, you'd have to put a lot of rounds through it. You'd really have to polish up that hammer face on that ALG trigger. You'd have to bend your safety in and out to find that sweet spot. And then of course, the mag latch. You never know how tight or loose they're gonna be from factory. M70s, for instance, have a super short, stubby mag latch that can be a little hard to find, and they're super stiff. That's the case for a lot of AK safeties. That sucker's buttery. And for you traditionalists, it doesn't really stand out like a sore thumb. I don't like those big whale tail paddles that a lot of current manufacturers are putting on their AKs. I think they just look really dumb. That looks good and it works good. So let's keep reloading this thing. Nice. Handles just like a really nice AK should for what you're paying for this thing. It really should be reliable. It should be smooth. All the lockups should be positive. That action should be smooth. The action feels like it's got 5,000 rounds through it. In AK speak, that's a good thing because they get real smooth at that point. And of course, certain AKs with rough actions will always get stuck on that trigger. Ain't happening. There is no resistance, surely not enough to ever hold up that carrier and keep it in the rearward position, which unfortunately is the case with so many out-of-the-box brand new AKs, even some kit builds that are using factory triggers. The hammer faces are really gritty and rough, and they have ridges that unless you just manhandle it, the carrier can't overcome it if you're babying it. Sometimes you want to baby it. This one does not care. That big chunky charging handle, dude. Ooh, you're never not gonna find it. It's for damn sure. Ooh, no point of impact shift. Oh, it feels great. So let's talk about the price. I know some people are gonna go look at it and go, oh my God, it's expensive. Man, AKs are just expensive. I mean, really high quality arsenals today are costing anywhere from like $2K to $2,200. It's just the way it is. I mean, you have to really want and understand nice AKs. You really have to know what goes into them, how this thing is hand assembled, parts are hand selected, parts are hand tuned, hand polished, hand fitted. It's not like building a lot of other types of guns, certainly not even close to what it takes to put an AR-15 together. Ooh, gotcha. So when you figure into it, you have already, ready to go, an aftermarket brake. You have an aftermarket barrel that has been trimmed down to make it much more maneuverable, much lighter. You have an aftermarket gas block. You have an Ultimac. You have a dong. These things are going for like 150 bucks these days for nice ones. All brand new WBP parts. These are not clapped out kit parts. Purist, I know. Kits are pretty good quality, but you're getting brand new parts, not like kits. Some people are throwing together Romanian parts kits. They're making them look like this, and they're charging a little over 2K. You're still buying used parts, but I get it, there's history there. Brand new parts, you're getting a 100 series side folder. It's got some value there. You have a side rail, 2 ways to mount optics, the specially tuned trigger, the aftermarket safety selector, the aftermarket mag latch, all from Krebs. These are quality parts. And of course, the action is so smooth, you even get that extra little charging handle there. And then it's all been finished. Beautiful matte black finish. You know, all together, all those parts add up, but what people don't ever think about is the human building AKs. Now, anyone that's ever sent in a parts kit or anything to have put together by a gunsmith knows it takes a long time, costs a lot of money. Depending on the gunsmith you use, there's definitely guys out there, some shade tree gunsmiths that'll charge you a couple $100 to put your box of parts together. But then you have people like M13, you have people like CW Gunworks, Halcyon Defense, Iron Curtain Customs, and then that God tier echelon like Krebs and Jim Fuller. You have guys out there that have, my new favorite word, pedigree, that have been doing this for a long time, that have very good, strong reputations. You know, their work is not cheap, and they definitely earned trust from people. They've earned that reliability and that peace of mind that you're gonna get a good AK, but you're definitely gonna pay for it. Overall, this style of AK, the 14.5 pin and weld with the JMac block, the 100 series side folder in 5.56 with multiple ways to mount optics. This is a pretty common way that you see people pimping out their AKs. So it looks like M13 just figured we'll just have it right off the shelf that way with all the things you may possibly want to do to it. It's all been done. And I kind of like it. And again, just to bring even myself back down to reality, this gun was provided to me free for review, not to keep, to film, to try out, and to send back to John with my thoughts. So here they are. John, if you're watching this, I know we've already been talking. I definitely think you should provide a cleaning rod that's trimmed, even though it might not be usable aesthetically. It's a tiny little touch, and I think it makes the gun look more complete. If tunable gas becomes a possibility one day without the price going up a lot, would be kind of cool. With the suppressor in particular, the brass case ammo did have quite a bit of recoil. However, the steel case ammo was beautiful to shoot with the can. There's a give and take there. Now, he has tuned the gas on this thing to be lower than a factory AK to give you hopefully a better recoil impulse. When you start to run really hot brass through it, you're definitely gonna feel it, and you don't have that K&S piston there to turn it down. That's where the brake comes in, and it does a pretty good job. Steel case through this thing, chef's kiss. The problem is steel case is not a viable option to always be able to go out and buy these days. If steel case were available, I would say 100% I absolutely love the recoil impulse, and I do, but certainly with the can on and brass case, little punchy with brass is what it is. Unsuppressed, it's great, both ways. You definitely can feel the recoil impulse between underpowered steel and some really hot brass. You definitely feel it, but is what it is. Overall, it walks that fine line of being reliable, no short stroking, and if you do find some underpowered ammo, oh man, the shooting impulse is so nice and it's reliable. And John, also, if you're watching this, I think it would be cool to maybe offer it without the Ultimac and maybe just a factory gas tube and upper handguard, if that brings the price down a little bit. Me personally, I'm probably always just gonna use the side rail, but I know there are guys that will end up running night vision or lasers or whatever the case may be, so it's really nice having this. And again, I think it does look pretty cool, but I would say maybe have an option where you delete that and go to a factory gas tube. That's a thing. Everything else I wouldn't change at all. It's the perfect grip, the perfect trigger, the perfect mag latch. It is the God tier folding stock. It's this folding stock of all time as far as AKs go. This is one of the best enhanced charging handles of all time. I love the smooth dust cover. I like the 14.5. I think it's a nice in-betweener. I think you're gonna get better long-range reliability with the 16-inch barrel. In my experience with AKs, 16s are where it's at, beyond 500. But for what most people are gonna do with this, up close and personal, competitive stuff, defensive stuff, 14.5 with the combo block is perfect. It is the perfect balanced AK. It's just the way to go. Certainly, if you're gonna go non-7.62, you just need that little extra velocity. It is just freaking perfect. And I would do not change that dong. Great choice on the dong, John. That's a nice dong. Man, it is a windy day, but I'm trying to get this video closed out for you. Overall, John, those are my thoughts. It's reliable, as it should be. No freaking problems. It's not picky with mags at all, which is a big problem with AKs. The optic mounting solutions are great. The folding stock's great. The aesthetics are great. It's light, it's maneuverable. It is accurate enough from 50 and 100 yards. We didn't have a chance to take it out beyond that, but I'll let you guys test that out. Overall, those are my thoughts. It is an expensive AK. Hopefully though, it's got everything you'd ever want, man. This is exactly how, watch any of my content from the past 5-6 years. Rachel's 5.56 AK, my 5.56 AK, they're basically set up the exact same way with almost the exact same parts. Same barrel lengths, same gas block, same muzzle device, same everything, even the same charging handle. And dude, my 106 has been ripping and tearing, snapping necks and cashing checks for years. It has freaked so many people out at competitions, classes, just in videos in general. It has been a go to freaking war, dead on balls reliable gun. This feels like I'm holding my 106 at the house with different furniture on it. And I can tell you right now, it has been the absolute best 5.56 AK I've ever owned. It does a little bit of everything extremely well. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. What do you think about the 514S? We've done quite a bit of shooting with it. Got to shoot a match, let some other people shoot it, and everyone seems to like it a whole heck of a lot. Yes, it is expensive, but relative to everything we talked about in this video, if you were gonna replicate it, it'd be pretty damn expensive. At least you have a really well-known, respected gunsmith behind it that will always take care of you if something goes wrong. He's always taken care of me, so I definitely vouch for M13. I've just had so much good luck with him. Anyway, what do you think about it? Is it too expensive? Is it not expensive enough? Surely no one's gonna think that. How would you change this in any way? What do you guys think about it? Let me know down in the comments below. And don't forget, Kalash Bash is right around the corner. M13 actually will be at Kalash Bash. They're one of our 60 vendors, so if you want to come out and meet John, you can't miss him. He's like 7 freaking feet tall. Humongous AK gunsmith. He'll be out here, Big Bad John. And those of you that want to come out and do some AK autism for 3 days, come meet me and a bunch of other cool vendors in the world of AKs and people just like you. The whole event's almost sold out. We're already getting close to 1,000 people. If you want to come out and meet people just like yourselves that eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff, that don't fit in anywhere else, come fit in for 3 days with us. It's going to be a really good time. Come to Kalash Bash. I cannot wait to see you guys there. All right, that's all I have for you today.